Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi everyone. Waalaikumsalam Firzan. Okay, so there are currently 5 only watching. I'm not sure what happens to the rest. Okay, so so finally we have come to the last maths lecture for this semester and for the whole session. Okay, so I hope at this time you are now at least 50% ready, okay, to sit for your PSPM that will begin next Tuesday. Okay, so and for today's lecture, so I have chosen charismatic set C, okay, for us to discuss, and this will involve all topics covered for PSPM. Waalaikumsalam Abby. Okay, so if you are not able to watch this live, so you can just watch the recorded video of this. Okay, so now let's begin the discussion. Okay, so this is basically the set which complies to the PSPM format. So we're going to have 2 parts, all right, for the paper. Okay, part A and part B. So let's discuss the first part. Okay, part A. So now the question says, the committee of a social club contains 8 members, of which 4 are Welsh, 2 are English, and 2 are Irish. A subcommittee of 3 members is to be set up, and it is decided to select the 3 members at random. So now, okay, we are talking about choosing 3 members out of 8. Okay, so choosing 3 members out of 8, so we can say that the number of elements in the sample space will be 8C3. Okay, so the 56, so this is 56 ways of choosing 3 members out of 8 without any restriction. Okay, so this is our NS. Okay, now the question says, calculate the probability that the subcommittee contains no Welsh members. So now we do have 4 Welsh, okay, 2 English and 2 Irish, right? So now we want to choose 3 out of these 8, provided that there should be no Welsh. So now we need to exclude the Welsh members. So we are left with only 4 options, from 2 English and 2 Irish. So now out of these 4 people, we are going to choose 3 members, and the number of ways is going to be 4. Okay, so we have 4 ways of doing it. So now when it comes to probability, so PA is equal to NA divided by NS. Okay, so NA divided by NS. So this is, okay, the formula, and we just get the 4 here divided by 56, and you have the answer to be 1/14. Okay, so I need to remind you that even though topic 7 will not be tested directly, but it can be related to topic 8, where, okay, we can still have permutation and combination, but the question will ask you about probability of this. Okay? Yeah. Alright. Yeah, okay. Fizana memang ada 5 orang. I'm not sure what happens to the rest 93. But yeah, so life has to go on. So we just do whatever we can. Good morning, Ginny. Good morning, Nob. Good morning, Jiva. Okay, so yeah. Now let's continue. Okay, so now we are talking about still probability of choosing 3, but now the condition is that 1 member of each nationality. So now we have 3 nationalities, Welsh, English, and Irish. So we want 1 from each. Okay, so out of 4 here, 4 Welsh, we choose 1. And then out of 2 English, we choose 1. And then out of 2 Irish, we choose 1. Okay, so there are 16 number of ways of doing this, and in order to find the probability, so we just divide the 16 with 56, and we have this answer. Okay, so you may just leave the answer in fraction or in decimal. Okay, correct to 3 significant figures. The list, the list is 3 significant figures. Okay, so now let's continue. Question number 2. So the probability distribution function of a random variable x is, okay, so now it's not stated whether the random variable is discrete or continuous. Okay, it's not given, Okay, it's not stated discrete or continuous. So, okay, whenever you come across this kind of question in exam, don't get panic. So what you need to do is just look at this. You can see that here in this particular question, the x here being declared as 0, 1, 2, 3. So they must be discrete, right? Because these are countable. So these are countable numbers. So if they are countable, so we may just exclude this possibility. So we know for sure this is going to be discrete. Okay, so we are given this function. Probability of x equals x is equal to k multiplied by 3x. Okay, what is this bracket? Okay, so this is not a matrix. Yeah, even though this is actually called a matrix, but this actually represents the binomial coefficient, yeah, where if we have nr, this is actually, okay, equal to ncr. So you don't really have to worry. So in order to get the value, you just press calculator. Okay, for example, if x is 0, and you just press calculator 3c0, and then you multiply by k here. So if you just, okay, if press calculator 3c0 will give you 1, multiplied by k, you will get 1k here. And then when x is 1, you press calculator 3c1, and then you will multiply, okay, so 3c1 will give you 3, then you will have 3k here. So 3c2 also will give you 3, so you will have 3k here, and 3c3 will give you 1, so here that's why you have k. Alright, so now the question says find the value of k. So find the value of k. So how do we find the value of k? Okay, so we know that for discrete random variable, the sum of probabilities is 1. Okay, so now you just sum up all the probabilities and you will get the sum to be 8k, and just equate this to 1, and okay, eventually you get the value of k to be 1 over 8. Alright, okay, and then next, hence. Okay, what does it mean by the hence word? So it means that we just need to use our previous answer. Okay, so previous answer is the value of k actually, right? So you just substitute back into the probability distribution function. Okay, and then you will get the probabilities. So now the question says find the probability of x greater than 0 and less than 3. And so please bear in mind, this is discrete random variable and the equal sign really matters. Yeah. So now if you have a look at this table, the numbers which satisfy this range is basically 1 and 2 only. So now we just find the probability when x equals 1. Okay, and then you add with probability when x equals 2. So you have, okay, 3 over 8 plus 3 over 8, which will give you, okay, 6 over 8. But again, please leave the answer in the simplest form. So you will get 3 over 4. Okay, and then next we need to find the expectation, variance, and variance of y if the y is given as this. Okay, so you must know the formula. Yeah? Okay, we have done this quite a lot. Okay, we have done this few times. All right, so I hope that by this time you are now familiar with the formula of expectation. So finite expectation is, okay, basically the sum of x multiplied by its probability. Okay, so you just get the x multiplied by its probability and this x multiplied by its probability, and you sum them up, so you will get this 3 over 2. Okay, again, the final answer can be given in fraction or in decimal, either one, yeah, you may choose. Okay, then finding variance. Okay, in this case, okay, at this stage, we only have expectation of x. So we just need to work on the expectation of x squared first, yeah, before we can obtain the variance. So expectation of x squared is basically the sum of, okay, x squared multiplied by its probability. Okay, so now we just get all the x here, okay, you square them first, and then you multiply by their probabilities. Okay, and then you will get this value 3, and then you just substitute the expectation of x squared into the formula. Okay, and here you just square the expectation of x, and then you subtract them, you will get 3 over 4. Okay, so this question is very straightforward and you can't afford to lose even 1 mark. Alright guys, okay, so I really hope that, okay, let's say if you, okay, if you get this kind of question in exam, so please do your very best to get full marks, yeah. Okay, now we need to find the variance of y, where y is, okay, 2x minus 3. Okay, so in this case, you don't really have to do this. You don't really have to find variance of y by finding the expectation of y squared and then minus with expectation of y squared. So no need to do this. Okay, because this is time consuming. Alright, so what do we need to do is, you just use the properties of variance. Okay, so variance of y is basically variance of 2x minus 3. And here we can just use the property where the property says if I have variance of ax plus b, so this will be, okay, variance, okay, if you need to take the scalar out here, you need to square it, so it will be a squared times variance of x and then plus with variance of b. And okay, one of the properties also says that variance of a constant is simply 0, so you will have only a squared times variance of x. Okay, so you just need to use this property. So once you take the 2 out, you will get 4 times variance x, and you just get your previous answer, you substitute, then you will get this answer. Okay, so make sure you know the properties, yeah. Okay, the properties of expectation and also variance. Okay, and yeah, the properties will involve both discrete and continuous random variable. Okay, we do have actually the same properties for both. All right. Okay, now let's continue. Okay, question number 3. In a local sports shop, the number of customers buying a pair of Super T trainers on any particular day can be modeled by a Poisson distribution with mean 1.5. So now let's declare our random variable. Okay, some of the students ask me, Madam, do we really need to declare the random variable? Actually, there's no mark for the declaration, but it really helps you to solve the problem. Okay, you will see this clearly when you have the lambda to be doubled or tripled. Okay, then the value of lambda will change. Okay, so that's why it is important, even though it doesn't give you any marks, but it is important and it will help you, okay, as we go along the question. All right, so now let's see here. X is basically the number of customers who buy a pair of Super T trainers in a day. Yeah. Okay, now the lambda is 1.5, so X is okay, can be modeled using Poisson distribution. Okay, and the question says on a particular day, no customer. So no customer means probability of X equals 0. So in order to solve this, you just use the Poisson formula, and this will be given in exam, so you must get this right. Okay, so make sure you get full marks for this. Okay, because the formula is provided, so it's just a matter of using formula. You don't get confused. The formula is, okay, probability of X equals R. So it's e to the power of negative lambda times lambda power of R divided by R factorial. Okay, then next, the question says, on a particular day, exactly 4 customers. Okay, so since we are still talking about number of customers in a day, so exactly 4 customers means we need to find probability of X equals 4, and it's just about using formula and press calculator, okay, correctly, and you will get this answer. And next, see, you may refer here. You may see that here in 5 days. So you can see that the time interval has been multiplied 5 times. So you know that in this case, the lambda has to be multiplied by 5. So this is, okay, our random variable is no longer X. It can just use any other letter. You can use Y. So Y is basically number of customers in 5 days, yeah. Okay, but yeah, you can see in this solution, the random variable is remain as X. Okay, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, it's just that as long as you know that the lambda has to be multiplied by 5, okay, so then it's okay. All right, so now you can see here, okay, now the lambda has been changed to 7.5, and the question says more than 6. So because this is discrete, so the equal sign really matters. So if you're talking about greater than 6, where 6 is not included, okay, because there's no equal sign here, so now we know that it has to begin from 7. So you just read your Poisson table. Okay, you just find the 7, and when the lambda is here 7.5, so this would be the answer. Okay, so when it comes to reading table, I hope that you can read the table very carefully. So please do bring in your ruler into the exam hall. Okay, so part B, a zoologist is studying a certain breed of dog. He knows from past experience that the probability of a newly born puppy being female is 0.55. So now as soon as you read the question, so you know that this is actually the probability of success. And then he selects a random sample of 20. So now, okay, if you read the question now, you can see clearly that we are given the N and the P. So whenever we are given N and P, and now we are talking about number of newly born puppy, right? So it has to be countable. So the only possible distribution that can be applied is binomial. Okay, so now you can see that here X is number of newborn puppy, okay, being female. Okay, then it can be modeled using binomial distribution with N20 and probability of success 0.55. Okay, now the question says find the probability that the number of females in the sample is exactly 12. So it's about finding probability of x equals 12, and you can just apply the binomial formula. Okay, and then, all right, so now the question says find, okay, the number of females in a sample between 8 and 16, both inclusive. So both inclusive means, okay, in the beginning, when we talk about between 8 and 17, 16, so it has to be this. Between means there's no equal, 8 and 16, there's no equal. Okay, but now because of this word, both inclusive, so that means both 8 and 16 here are included. So we have to put equal sign. Okay, so now, okay, we want the x to be from 8 to 16, yeah? So from 8, the dots here until 16. Okay, so if you want to read the binomial table, so it will be like this. So from 8 to the right, okay, so this is when x greater equal 8 minus 16 to the right. So this is what you don't want, right? From 17 to the right. Okay, you don't want 17 to the right. So from 8 to the right, you just minus with 17 to the right. But now the problem will occur when you try to find the probability of success from the binomial table. You will see that probability of success is 0.55, which cannot be found anywhere in the binomial table. Okay, so what do we do here? In this case, we need to use the complement event. So what to do? Okay, you don't really have to memorize the formula. It's just that, again, okay, please just draw the table. Okay, now you want x greater equal 8. So if you draw this, so you have x and x prime. Okay, so greater equal 8 means 8, 9, and 10. So now, okay, we have total of 20 puppies, right? So 20 puppies, if 8 are females, so for sure there are 12 male puppies. And then here now, okay, 9 females, so 11 male, 10 female, and 10 male. So now you can see that as x gets larger, x prime gets smaller. So x greater equal 8 is equivalent to x prime less equal 12. Okay, then what about this? Greater equal 17. So you may just draw another table. So x and x prime. So you can see that, okay, x will get larger, yeah, 17, 18, and 19. Okay, because greater equal. And then, okay, we just get the complement. So if there are 17 female, so for sure there are 3 male, here 2 and 1. Okay. So you can see that as x gets larger here, the x prime will get smaller. Okay, so now, so this would be, so x greater equal 17 is equal to x prime less equal 3. Okay, so but again, we still cannot read the table because of the less equal sign. So you just get the complement of them, and then you just read the binomial table, and you will get these figures, and finally you will get this answer. Okay. Yeah, so you just need to be very careful when it comes to binomial distribution where the probability of success is, okay, not in the table. Alright, so now let's continue with question number 2. A parabola with its axis. Okay, so this is topic 4. A parabola with its axis parallel to the x. Okay, now we know there are 4 types of parabola with 2 equations. Okay, now you just need to read the question carefully. If we are given that the axis is parallel to the x, so we know x-axis is horizontal, right? X-axis is horizontal. So the only possibility that the parabola is going to be this, opens left or opens right. So once you know that this is going to be opens left or opens right, so the only equation that we have is this one. Okay, we know that the highest power will belong to y. Why? Because if the highest power belongs to x, okay, if the highest power belongs to x, so we are going to have this opens downwards and open. Okay, this one is opens upwards and this one is opens downwards. Parabola, so this is actually the equation. Okay, and the equation will be provided, so make sure, okay, you just use the correct equation involved. Okay. Alright, so now next, the question says, okay, the parabola has the vertex at point this. So this is basically the value of h and also k. So this is the h, okay, and this is the k value. So h is -3. Okay, so you may just substitute. So the the equation of parabola. So y minus k. squared equals 4p x minus h. Okay, now since your h is negative 3, so it will become x plus 3 in this. And then since your k is 2, so you will have y minus 2, and then you just square it. And next, okay, if the parabola passes through the point, so we know that this, okay, the parabola passes through this point, so you can just replace this, okay, you just replace the xy with these two values, yeah. So x is negative 2 and y here is negative 5. And once you substitute the two values of x and y, you will get p negative 2. So as soon as you get p negative 2, so you know that your parabola is going to be this, yeah. Okay, so you may just exclude, yeah, you may just exclude this possibility. Okay, so now you know that your parabola is opens left. Okay, so next the question asks for sketch the graph. Okay, so after we find the equation here, substituting the value of p, so now you may sketch the graph. So now you know that the parabola is opens left, so you just plot first the vertex. Okay, you plot first the vertex. Okay, negative 3, 2. And then, okay, from the vertex, it will move 2 units to the left, right? Because of the P here. Okay, so the distance here is 2. So move 2 units to the left will give you negative 5. And then move 2 units to the right will give you negative 1. So this is basically the directrix, yeah? So this is the directrix. Okay, and you will notice that there is one intercept here, which is the x-intercept. So in order to get full marks, you just need to label the intercept here. So how to label the intercept? So you just let, okay, y equals 0. Okay, so when y equals 0, so you just find the intercept. So when y equals 0, so you will have 4 equals negative 8 times x plus 3. So from here, x plus 3 is, okay, 4 divided by negative 8 is negative 1 over 2. So x is negative 1 over 2 minus 6 over 2 is negative 7 over 2 or negative 3.5. So this is where the point is negative 3.5. Okay, so whenever you have intercept, all right, so please do label them, because for graph sketching, usually there will be 3 marks. And in order for you to get the third mark, so you have to show the intercepts clearly, yeah? All right, so now next, okay, so this is question about circle. So a circle C, the circle C has center A with coordinates 7, 5. Okay, so the line L, so this is the line with equation 2x plus y equals to x plus 1 is the tangent. So which means now we know that the circle touches the line. Okay, so this is basically the tangent. Okay, so tangent at point P. Okay, as shown in figure 1. So show that equation of the line PA is, so now we need to show this. So basically we know equation of line PA is basically equation of normal, right? Okay, so PA is basically perpendicular to the tangent line. So what do? So we know that this gradient of tangent is 2. So from there, we can conclude that the gradient of AP is negative 1 over 2. Why? Because since they are perpendicular to each other, so the product of their gradients is equal to 1. Okay, and then not only that, we know also that the normal passes through this point. Okay, the normal also passes through the center. So we can just substitute the center here, 7, 5, and then from there you will get the equation of normal. So now it's shown. Okay, so then find equation of C. So how to find equation of C? Now we only have the center. Okay, so equation of C means equation for the circle. Alright, so now we already have the center. Now we do not know the radius. But you can see that here, okay, we do have this center, which is a point, and this line, which is perpendicular, right, to the normal. So we can obtain the radius by finding the shortest distance. So shortest distance from this center to this tangent. Okay, so if we rewrite, okay, we rewrite the equation of tangent here. Okay, so you see here, I rewrite the equation of tangent in this form, in this ax plus by plus c form, okay, equals 0. So you will see that, okay, the a value here is 2, and the b here is negative 1, and the c here is 1. Okay, so the ABC here coming from the equation of the tangent, while the HK is coming from the center. So now we are going to use the formula shortest distance. So this is formula shortest distance, okay, from a point to a line. Okay, so you will have this. So it's AH plus, okay, modulus of AH plus BK plus C divided by square root of A squared plus B squared. Okay, so now with your A, B, C values, you substitute in A, B, C, and then HK 75. You put in here. So then the AB also 2, negative 1 here. So you will get this radius, 2, 5. And then since the question only asks for equation, so it can be in standard form or general form. So, okay, you substitute the center and radius into the standard form. Okay, so you will get this equation of circle. Let's say if you want to give in general form, you may just expand the brackets and you give in general form, yeah? X squared plus y squared plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c equals 0. Alright, so this is standard form of, okay, equation of circle. Alright, so now we have got the equation of circle. What's next? Okay, so the question says, the line with equation 2x plus k, where k is not equal to 1. Why? Because if k equals 1, then this is equation of straight line L. Okay, so it's also tangent to C. So find the value of the constant k. So now what do we do? Okay, so this is basically where the tangent is located. Okay, now you see. Okay, so this is basically the L, right? With gradient 2, we know just now. So this is line L with equation 2x plus 1. So now we have one more equation of tangent with gradient 2 as well. So this is actually where the tangent is located with exactly the same gradient. Okay, so how do we find this equation? So this is the one that we need to find. The equation is given as, okay, y equals 2x plus k with k unknown. Okay, so what we don't know what the value of k, but we know the gradient is 2. So how to find k? And we are going to use the radius here. The radius from, yeah, the distance here from A to P must be equal to this one, right? Distance. Okay, because we are talking about radius, so the radius must be the same. Okay, so we are going to use the formula of shortest distance just now. Okay, so the line here, we do have, okay, we rewrite. So now we rewrite this equation to, okay, y equals to x plus k in the form of this, 2x minus y plus k equals 0, where this is basically the value of A, and this is B, and this is your C. Okay, so now we can say that A is 2, B is negative 1, and C is k. Now substituting the ABC and also the HK into the formula of shortest distance, and we equate with the radius. So you will have this, yeah, modulus of 9 plus k equals 10. So in order to do this, okay, in order to find the values of k, we need to use the definition of absolute, where when we have absolute of, okay, x equals a, so this is x equals a or x equals negative a. So by using the definition of absolute, so we split the bracket, we split the equation into 2, so 9 plus k equals 10 or 9 plus k equals negative 10, and here we have two values of k. But since it's stated in the question that k is not equal to 1, so we ignore this one, yeah? So we ignore this and we just accept this value. So k is negative 90. Alright, okay, then next, the question is on trapezoidal rule, topic 3. Yeah? Okay, so topic 3 is the easiest topic, yeah, in this semester. So I really hope that, yeah, you will be able to get full marks, yeah, for this topic. It's either trapezoidal or Newton-Raphson. Okay, because the formula will be given, and actually for both problems, Newton-Raphson and trapezoidal, you can just use calculator to obtain the value. So there should be no reason of you losing any marks, yeah. Okay, so now let's see. The question says use trapezoidal rule with 6 ordinates. Okay, now please bear in mind the word here is ordinates. Okay, so please be careful, guys. In this case, n is not 6, yeah. So ordinates is basically n plus 1. So in this case, since we have ordinate 6, which means that we can say that n is equal to 5. So please be careful, yeah, because once you get n wrong, So the whole thing will be wrong. So please be very careful. Even though this topic is easy, it's also easy to lose mark. Yeah. So please bear in mind, guys, trapezoidal rule. Okay. Ordinates is basically n plus 1. Okay, so make sure you can differentiate the terms. N is basically what? N is basically strips or intervals. Okay, but then when it comes to ordinates is basically n plus 1. Okay, so n is equal to 5. So the question says use trapezoidal rule to solve this integral correct to 3 decimal places. So once we have this instruction, okay, the final answer has to be correct to 3 decimal places, which means throughout the solution or in the table, you have to provide more than 3. You have to give more than 3, which means 4 and above. Okay, so first we need to find the h. So h is basically the formula of h is b minus a over n. So b is the upper limit and a is the lower limit. So this is b and this is a. So 0.5 minus 0 divided by 5. So you get 0.1 as the h value. Okay, then next. Alright, so you may just use calculator to solve this. So I've given here the instruction how to use calculator to find the integral. Okay, in order to provide the table for trapezoidal rule. Okay, so we have this. First, you press menu. Okay, these instructions or this guide is for those who are using the latest model of Casio FX570EX. Okay, so now you press menu and you find the 9, which is stable, and okay, then you plug in the function, the function here. So it's e to the power of x squared. Okay, then start is the lower limit. You press 0 and you press equal, and the b is 0.5. Okay, and then the h. Okay, so basically step is the h, so you plug in 0.1 and you press equal. So once you do this, automatically everything will appear. So that's why I told you for this topic, there should be no reason of you losing any marks, guys. So please make sure you do it correctly. Okay, so this is not something that that you can take for granted. Okay, then after you obtain the table, okay, in the calculator, so it's just about transferring all the values into your answer booklet. Alright, then you just find the sum of the middle, but please bear in mind here for the y values, you split the n, okay, the first and the last value of y, and then for the middle y's, you put it in the next column. Okay, so this is the sum, and this is also the sum for the middle y's. Okay, and please make sure you give more than 3 decimal places, 4 and above. So as you can see in this solution, 5 decimal places are provided. Okay, then next you will just substitute into the formula. So the formula is this, okay, integral of fx from a to b, okay, is basically h divided by 2, y0 plus yn plus with 2 times the middle y's. Okay, dot until yn minus 1. Okay, then it's just about substituting all the values here. So this, you put it here, and then this, you put it here, and then h here. Okay, you bring it down, and you press calculator, and don't stop here. Make sure you give correct to 3 decimal places as instructed in the question. Okay, so we're done with this question. Next, let's continue. Question number 4. Okay, random variable x is known, is given. So it's normally distributed with mean, mu, and variance as sigma squared. So it is known that, the probability here as x less equal 25 is 0.0668, and probability of x less equal 44.5 is equal to 0.9599. Okay, so you see here, so my advice is whenever you come across this kind of problem, please draw the bell-shaped curve. Don't simply imagine. Okay, so you cannot simply imagine. So in order to get the idea, precisely you have to draw the bell-shaped curve. Okay, so now we are given that x less equal 25 is this. So if you draw the bell-shaped curve, so this is the area. Okay, because this is less than sign, right? So this is the area. Okay, 0.0668, where the z-score is located here, 25 minus mu divided by sigma. Okay, but then we cannot read the table because this is less than. Okay, so what do we need to do? We need to rotate the bell-shaped curve. So, okay, please bear in mind, once you rotate, please change the negative score to positive, which means you need to multiply this. Okay, you need to multiply with -1. So you can see that from 25 minus mu, so this has become mu minus 25. Because why? In the beginning, this is supposed to be the negative value. But once we rotate, we need to multiply with negative to give us this. Yeah? So you will have mu minus 25 divided by sigma. Okay, so we change this. So basically, this will be probability of z greater than mu minus 25 divided by sigma equals 0.0668. And you just read the standard normal table. Okay, so from standard normal table, z greater than 1.5 is equal to 0.0668. So you can just compare these two. Okay, you can just compare these two and you may just get one equation involving mu and sigma. Okay, and then next, we are given the second information here. So x less than is 0.9599. So it is so big, right? It is greater than 0.5. So once you draw the bell-shaped curve, you will notice that the z-score is actually located here on the right of 0. Okay, so this is 0 and this is the z-score. So we just get the complement area. So this is the area where 1 minus 0.9599. So you will get 0.0401. So, okay, how to write this? So, probability of z greater than 44.5 minus mu divided by sigma is equal to 0.0401. Okay, and then you just read tables, standard normal table. So, from tables, probability of z greater than 1.75 is equal to 0.0401. And then you can just compare the z-score here. Okay, and you will get another equation involving mu and sigma. And then you just solve them simultaneously. You will get the values of sigma and also mu. Okay, so please, whenever it involves the normal distribution, do draw the bell-shaped curve. Yeah. Alright. Okay, now next, find the probability of x. Okay, greater equal 37 and less equal 39. So, okay, we already have the sigma and the mu. So you just substitute here. We standardize this. And you will get this z-score. Okay, both are positive. So which means the area that we are looking for is this one. Okay, from 0.5 until 0.83. Okay, so now we have, okay, in order to read the table, so it will be probability of z greater than 0.5 minus with probability of z greater than 0.83, which means we find the area, okay, 0.5 to the right minus with 0.83 to the right. Okay, so then eventually you will get the area of the shaded region. Okay, so you just read the standard normal table carefully. Okay, and please use ruler. Okay, so that you won't miss out anything. So then this will be the answer. Okay, and the statistical table will be provided in exam. Yeah. Okay, then number 5, position vectors of P and Q. Okay, position vector. So please, what is position vector? So position vector is basically a vector from the origin. Yeah. So make sure you know the terms are position vector, unit vector, okay, parallel vectors, and so on. So position vector is basically from the origin, which means, okay, we can say that this is basically OP. Okay, so OP, so you can see here, OP is 2i plus 3j, and OQ is 3i plus 4j. Okay, or you may just write in column matrix format, so OP. So since we only have 2 dimensions in this case, so it's 2 and 3. Or if you want to write in 3 dimensions, this is 230 and negative I plus 4j. So OQ is basically negative 3, 4 and 0. Okay, so again, I remind you there are 3 representations of vector. So there are 3 notations for vectors. Okay, so one is IJK form. So this is IJK form. Okay, and this is column matrix form. Okay, and the third notation is angle bracket form. Yeah, this one, 230. So this is angle bracket form. So make sure you know this different notation. Okay, why? Because if you come across any notation in exam, so you are familiar with them. Alright, so now if R is a variable point given OR is equal to OP plus lambda PQ, so find the value of lambda. So what you need to do is you just substitute the vectors of OP. And okay, how can we find PQ? PQ is basically OQ minus OP, yeah? Okay, so please remember if you have a vector, in order to express the vector in position vectors, so it's the back minus the front. Okay, it's OQ minus OP. Okay, substituting the OP OQ into this will give you this. And alright, so find the value of lambda for which OR is perpendicular to PQ. Okay, so this is basically your OR. Okay, so OR is perpendicular to PQ, so this is your OR. So, okay, how to relate, yeah? If you have two vectors to be perpendicular to each other, so then the dot product is equal to 0, okay? Because why dot product, the formula of dot product is A dot B equals magnitude A, magnitude B, cos theta, right? So, if you have two vectors to be perpendicular to each other, then the angle is going to be, okay, 90. And you know cos 90 is 0. So, okay, that's why if you have two vectors to be perpendicular, so you just use the dot product. Okay, so we just multiply, okay, using the dot product. Okay, and by this time, you should know how to perform dot product between two vectors. Okay, so you just multiply these two, and then you add with product of these two, and you equate to 0, then eventually get the value of lambda. Okay. Next, okay, I'll find the values of lambda provided that the magnitude of OR is equal to 1 over Z2 multiplied by magnitude of PQ. So now you already have the OR, okay, with lambda still unknown. Alright. So now we just plug in, okay, the magnitude. Okay, we just square each component and we find the sum. And here also this is magnitude of, okay, PQ, square root of this. And then squaring both sides to get rid of the square root. Okay, and you will get this. So just solve the quadratic equation. Okay, so please make sure, yeah. So in order to solve quadratic equation, you just show either one of the three methods. So solving quadratic. Okay, solving quadratic equation. Please show this clearly. It's either you use factorization or completing the square or using formula. Okay, so in this solution, you may see that factorization is shown clearly. Alright, so then you get the values of lambda 0 and 7 over 13. Okay, and next, B. Okay, given vectors A and B are on the XZ plane. Okay, what does it mean? XZ plane. You imagine this is your X axis, Y axis, and this is your Z axis. Okay, if the two vectors are on the XZ plane, so this is basically the plane. Okay, so now, okay, the A and B are both on XZ plane. So once you find the cross product between A and B, you will get a vector which is perpendicular to both. So a vector which is perpendicular to both must be in the Y direction. Okay, so in this case, we can conclude that A cross B is going to be 0, okay, something 0. Okay, because both vectors are located on the XZ plane. So now we know that the component, okay, the I and K component will be 0. Okay, so it has it will be something like this. A cross B is equal to 0, M0. Okay, now, okay, what else information are we given? So we know that magnitude of A is 5, magnitude of B is 2, and we are given, okay, 2 multiplied by the dot product is equal to 0. And from here, we can deduce that A dot B equals 0, which means A and B must be perpendicular to each other. So in this case, the angle between them is 90 degrees. Okay, so then what do we do? Okay, we are going to, okay, if you can see this solution, alright, so we are going to use the formula of cross product. What is formula of cross product? A cross B is equal to magnitude A, magnitude B, sine theta multiplied by a unit vector. Okay, so now because A and B are located on xz plane, so the unit vector is going to be a vector perpendicular to the xz plane, which is plus minus j. Alright, so plus minus j unit vector. So this is unit vector with magnitude 1. Okay, with magnitude 1. So in this case, so n is going to be plus minus j. So now we have got the magnitude of A just now, 5, magnitude of B, and then because the theta is 90 degrees and because the dot product is 0, so we know that the theta is 90, substitute here and multiplied by the unit vector. Okay, so eventually we get the A cross B to be plus minus j. Or if you want to solve this, you can also use this formula. Magnitude of A cross B is equal to magnitude of A, magnitude of B sine theta. So now because we know that magnitude of A is 5 and then magnitude of B is 2 and sine theta is 1, so we know that the magnitude of A cross B is equal to 10. And from just previously, we know that A cross B is going to be a vector, with 0 m0. So from here, you can just obtain the magnitude 0 squared plus m squared plus 0 squared, which is equal to 10. So from here, you get m squared equals 100, and then m is equal to plus minus 10. And from there, you can just conclude that A cross B is equal to 0 plus minus 10, 0, or basically plus minus 10g. Okay, so you may just use the formula of magnitude of A cross B, or you may just use this formula. Okay, either one, you may just use any method here. And eventually you get the same answer. Alright? Okay. And then question number 6. Okay, this question is quite straightforward. Yeah, you are given PDF of continuous random variable. Okay, so show that A equals 2. So you begin with the total area equals 1 and you integrate. So again, my advice is topic 9. In order to tackle topic 9 question, please identify your random variable, either discrete or continuous. If you have discrete, so please draw a table. If you have continuous, so please draw number line. Okay, now you are given the function. So, you just draw the number line, with the respective functions, So here 0 until 1, we have this function. And 1 until A, we have this function. Okay. And then, show that A equals 2. So what you need to do, you just integrate from 0 to 1. You integrate function x. Plus you integrate 1 to A. You integrate 2 minus x. And you equate this to 1. And eventually you get the value of A to be 2. Okay, and then next find the probability. So now because 0.5 is located here and 1.5 is located here, so which means here you will cross two different functions, right? So which means in order to find the probability, you will have two different integrals. Okay, so first you integrate from 0.5 until 1, and then you integrate from 1 until 1.5. Okay, then you will get this answer. Okay, so I really hope that by now you should be able to know how to integrate functions, Okay, so please recall the basic rules of integration so that you won't miss out any rules and you will be able to solve integration problem. Okay, then finite expectation means you just use the formula, expectation of x. So it's this xx multiplied by PDF. Okay, so this is formula of EX. Okay, so because we do have two different functions here, so you will have two different integrals. Okay, so you multiply by x first, then you expand first, then only you integrate. Okay, then you'll be able to get the answer. Okay, and then last question is about topic 10. Okay, in Palmerston, 22% of families own a dishwasher. So find probability that of 15 families. So now you have this probability of success P and N to be 15. So it's something to do with binomial distribution. So you just declare your random variable. Okay, so the question says between 4 and 6 inclusive. So please bear in mind the keyword here, we have this inclusive word, which means you are going to have the equal sign here. Okay, and I need to remind you guys, if you cannot find the probability of success in the binomial table, okay, please don't round off. Please don't round off the value. Round off the value of P. Okay, just for the purpose of reading binomial table, cannot, because the answer is going to be totally different. Okay, so now the probability of success is 0.22, so you have no choice. You need to use binomial formula, Okay, so using binomial formula, you just find the probability of x equals 4, 5, and 6, and you get this answer. And then a random sample of 145. So now n gets bigger, so you need to do normal approximation in this case, Okay, so you obtain the mean with, from NP, and then the variance NPQ, and then first you need to do continuity correction. Okay, so again, you don't have to memorize the formula, you just need to draw this box. So the 26 is here, you want it to be greater than 26, but okay, the 26 is not included, so it will begin from 26.5. So the process here is called continuity correction, and then we do standardization, okay, and then you get the z-score. You still cannot read the table, so you just, okay, rotate the bell-shaped curve here, and then from here you can read this table. Okay, and this is the standard normal. Okay, and can read the standard normal table. Okay, so that's the end of our lecture, guys. Okay, so there's one question here. Okay, Fir asks here, kalau tak declare X, kita tolak markah ke madam? Tak. Okay, if you don't declare, you're not going to be penalized mark. But okay, as I told you before, it will be very helpful. Okay, it will be very helpful. Okay, if you declare the variables, because sometimes they will keep changing the variables. So in order to see the difference, okay, so it is advisable for you to declare the variable. Okay, but if you don't, no marks will be penalized. Alright. Okay, so guys, I think that's all. Okay, so that wraps up our lecture. Okay, so since this is our last lecture for this semester and for the whole session, so I would like to wish you all the best for your PSPM. Okay, and so please don't let any anxiety or fear control you. Don't get too nervous. Okay, so you just leave all the fear and anxiety at the entrance of the exam hall, and you just walk in with confidence, because I know you'll come up with flying colors at the end of the day. Alright, guys, so okay, so that's the end. Okay, so let's okay, if you miss me, then you can just go to my channel and you can re-watch my lecture videos. Okay, so till we meet again. Okay, sayonara. All the best, guys. I wish you all the best for your future undertakings. Okay, so that's it. I end this lecture with Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and have a nice day.